Yeah. Uh-huh. You know who it is. 3 gurus on the mic, no matter where you live. Turning up the volume, ignite the light. Curry, cheese, and Vegemite. We're bringing you the ads that'll ignite. Tips and tricks to get it right. Every week we take flight. From the streets of Pakistan, spicing up the flow. Usama on the beat, now you already know. Mixing up the data like a mass solid blend. Optimizing ads so the clicks never end. Straight out of Canada. It's Colby on the scene, cheddar sharp tactics, marketed machine. Slice through the noise, let me grade these facts. Layer up your ads, watch the clicks attract. Dave from down under, Glen's taking flight. Spreading wisdom thick like Vegemite. Aussie insights on that PPC. Navigating waves of the Google Sea. Curry, cheese, and Vegemite. Unwrapping all the trends tonight. Get your strategies airtight. We elevate, we unite.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That one.
You know who it is.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's on the mic no matter where you live. Turning up the volume, ignite the light. It's curry, cheese, and Vegemite. Curry, cheese, and Vegemite.
So that's our special jingle that we've created for our weekly podcast. Even though it's now turned bi-weekly. Poor Usama's been sick. So that's why we missed last week. He was on his deathbed. So yeah, he's got the big, and he's got a big brain. So his big brain wasn't working last week.
Yeah, I'm still sick with his wife.
So at the day of this recording, it is Black Friday. How's everyone's Black Friday preparation been?
So far, I'm pacing all right.
Yeah, no, today things are looking good. Things didn't look great in my accounts yesterday. I mean, people are probably relaxing. I think Usama made a good point yesterday. Didn't you say that was the biggest travel day in the United States?
Oh, yesterday was Thanksgiving. The day before yesterday was the biggest travel day.
Okay. I'm just trying to find my excuses.
In all of the states, which is why.
So
we're down
moving into this sales period, was there any particular strategy that you guys employed leading into it? Like, was there a particular method or strategy that you employed, whether it's all e-com because it's shopping, that you were prepping for this launch into the sales period?
So my strategies are actually pretty simple. People like to get really complicated with stuff, and I'm just like, let me just do this and call it a day. So the way my strategy's been worked, and it worked well for me, to be honest, every single time I've ran a sale.
Yeah.
So just do the basics first, the Merchant Center promo. Honestly, it's nothing even crazy. Do the Merchant Center promo, do the headline pinning. So I always pin my headlines in position 2 for the duration of the sale, for by brand and non-brand sales. Then I'll do my promotion extensions. And then in this case, I've launched a YouTube ads campaign for all of my visitors and my customer list over here. And that's been working really well for me.
Your audio is not great, by the way, Usama. But
let me change into my AirPods.
I just still heard you there. But yeah, I think that's good. I have a jump off point there too. And as always, I'm just stealing things from other smart people that I read. But Nils, the coding fella, he released an email maybe a week or 2 ago talking about some quick account wins. And he was talking about how you can make account level headlines and descriptions. And so for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that's a nice, quick, easy win just to do everything in bulk. If you're a lazy person like me, and you don't.
That's in the assets section, isn't it?
Yeah,
you
but
can yeah,
but
I tried that. Your
audio.
audio.
Hear me now?
Oh, that's better.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay.
There, that's
but
so much
I
better.
tried that, and my headline would not show up for me for like a lot of the times, because during the promo I want it there every single time, and the only way I've been able to do that is when I actually go inside the ad and make the change.
Okay, well, I guess like the most. It's funny, I brought up the point, and now I'm just like, well, you know what you could do is the most time-consuming thing. But yeah, if you do the most time-consuming thing and then update every one,
it's not,
and then just pin.
Let me teach you a hack, Colby. It doesn't need to be time-consuming. You just go to all your ads, find and replace. I have one that I always have pinned to the second position, regardless of the ad, and then I just change it back and forth into a generic one versus thing. So you just go in there, go find and replace your headlines with it. So the way I structure my ads is usually a little different. So I have like headlines pinned at 1 and some at 2. The 1, they're the more generic, like let's just say the brand terminology, and the 2 is like the headline selling points. I'll just replace one of the selling points that I have pinned at 2.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
It's just a simple find and replace, copy paste, and it just does everything for you.
That's good. That's why we have you. I'm a work harder, not smarter kind of guy, but then we have guys like Usama Khan who are work smarter, not harder.
Or do no work at all.
I mean, yeah. Also, so one of my thoughts and strategies that I had, and I need to have proof of concept after this, but I think it's a principle that really makes sense. And interrupt me, guys, if I mentioned this last week, but I really like the idea of pushing a little bit harder before the craze of Black Friday, Cyber Monday happens, where the CPCs are lower. And then if you think about it, you just want to prime the audience, make sure that when you're looking at percentage of new traffic versus old, you're starting to pick up on more cold traffic in those earlier weeks, maybe early November or late October. And then you can just push harder with, more general targeting or even retargeting come Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because we just want to establish that really big base, get them in. We want to be top of mind for some of these people. And if we can do it during the period where things are cheaper, that's great. But
again, I'm going to give you a really good lazy hack Usama Friday, which is what I always do when there's, I'm going to call it lazy hack Usama Friday of my little.
All right.
A lazy hack Usama Friday. And I'll give you a perfect example of it with a screenshot because I can't share the client. What I tend to do with a lot of my accounts when a promo is leading up to it, I will go ask the client, what is like your acceptable in-app ROAS, T-ROAS, and it can't be high. It can't be like 300%. For example, I have a skincare client that wants like a 0. I think it's like 4 or 5 new customer ROAS, which in-app for my cold traffic translates to like a 110, 120. Now this isn't that client, but it's a good example. Because what I tend to do, my image didn't load. What I do then is I go back at the start, like not even like literally like a week before the sale even starts, a week and a half before the sale even starts, and I start to increase budgets. I set the budget really, really high, like really, really high, and I set the T-ROAS to what the client wants in-app or what I need in-app to achieve what the client wants. And then what ends up happening is something, and I leave it alone. I do it to my non-brand search. I do it to my brand search. I do it to my top of funnel shopping. I do it to my branded shopping. I do it across the board. And then stuff like this starts happening where when the time comes, and I'm trying to get this to open up in a uploaded thing.
Do it, man.
You
can get the fancy people we have at our organization to block things out.
And then you end up with something like this where it starts spending. This little dip you saw here is because we had payment issues. But over here is when I put the T-ROAS on it and just increased budgets to like $10,000 a day. And it just dipped a little because I adjusted my ROAS, increase, payment issue, increase, payment issue, increase. And yesterday I spent $8,500 where over here they were spending less than 3, all while maintaining my targets. You don't have to complicate things. So that's the lazy hack.
Just a really high budget and let it merge.
Yeah, because your T-ROAS, your TCP acts as like a gatekeeper, a mitigator for your budget, but not touching the campaign and giving it the legroom to actually spend when it can and needs to, it just skyrockets stuff. And it's worked for me every single time.
I'm down with that. Does the same thing.
That dovetails into my strategy that I mentioned to you guys last week. So essentially what I did was leading into this Black Friday, Cyber Mondays, I created a portfolio bid strategy with multiple standard shopping campaigns in it with different product ranges. And I started with a low T ROAS, but I also attached a portfolio budget and I gave it a big budget, like $2,000, $3,000 a day. And I let it go. And so within 10 to 14 days, I was hitting that objective. So then what I did, and I'll share this with you. So let's just say this was what I was doing. I then would
What's
increase.
portfolio?
It's a very, very bad attempt to spell something. Portfolio. There you
It's
go.
the port where there's a lot of very nice shirts.
It is.
Yes.
To say that's $2,000. So then after about 10 or 14 days, I would then, I'll get that out of the way. I then increase the budget. But then I drop this by 10% so that this can spend. It spends more. Once I start seeing more spend, I increase the portfolio bid back up, and then I increase the budget again. Try and get more spend coming in. Then after about 3 or 4 days, drop the portfolio bid.
Yeah.
Then this thing starts spending more because I've dropped the portfolio bid down. Then and after 4 or 5 days, I increase it again, just above that. So if I went to 190 to 220 to 210 to 230, and then I also increase the budget again. So I'm doing this up, then pull back a bit, up the ROAS, then pull back a bit. And each time I'm going up and down, I'm increasing the budget each time. So I'm trying to open up the budget. And what happened was the portfolio bid strategy kept spending more and more and more whilst hitting this T ROAS. So pulling back the portfolio T ROAS objective allowed the portfolio budget to spend more, open up, and then once it started spending more, then I'd increase the ROAS, and then the spend had come down, then I'd pull it back down again, and then increase it again. So very similar to what you're doing, you just set it and let it go and let the spend merge into it. I was massaging and manipulating the bids and the budgets through this stair-step method. And it did quite well. So this was the effect of it. So I started right back here, and you can see that it started slowly. The spend started slowly, but then once the sales kicked off, revenue just took off, and now we're into the sale period here. I have
a question. Have you tried just leaving the T ROAS as is and just running it with like the high budget?
Yeah, it won't spend. It won't spend. Yeah, that's why I started with low objectives, and I'm massaging it up. Yeah, it seems this is a sale period. They were going to sell anyway, but because I had the budgets really high, these things you can see the rev, the spend. We were doing like $200 a day here. Now we're up to $1,300. It's dropped down a little bit here. This is pre-Black Friday, but it's effectively 5xing, 6xing their daily spend. Well, and like you said, once you've opened up, once you've got that budget that's there, that's ready to be spent, it just goes for it. It leans into it.
I like it.
Yeah, this is something I'm going to do pretty consistently now, especially if a client's got a sale coming up and I can get ready. I'm going to try and see if I can turn this into an evergreen strategy as well, and see if I can lean into it that way. But yeah, that's a test that seems to have gone quite well at the moment.
I like that.
You like that, Keith?
Oh, yeah, I like that. I like it.
3 experts, 1 mic, and 1 million views, bringing you the news you can really use. From Pakistan to Canada to Aussie land, we connect the world with a master plan. So plug in, subscribe, don't miss the show. Curry, cheese, and Vegemite, let the knowledge flow. Google Ads secrets we unveil and write. Every week we're live, come join the flight.